I have these 3 pieces of fabric which I've already cut. This is 2.5 by 5. This is 16.5 by 7, and this is 10 by 10 inches. So I'm going to fold this piece like this. Notice how I fold. This is a square, so I'm just going to fold it like this. Can you see? I folded it and it is now a triangle. Okay, so what you do is you pick up this your square piece, which is 10 inches by 10 inches. You fold it like this, so such that it forms a triangle. So I'll sew all the way here and leave about between 1 and 1.5 inches, and also I'll do the same on this other side. Sew all the way from here, from the beginning here, all the way down here, and I'm going to leave about 1 inch or 1.5, just as I'll be doing for this other side. This is to enable me turn it over when I'm done sewing. Run a stitch on both sides, as you can see here, on both sides of this triangle here, as well as this other side. And I still have here opened up. Stitch is about 1/4 inch, and here I've left this part open to enable me turn it over. So I'm going to be turning it. So I flipped it over to the right side. Now I will need to close up this part, so I'll just tuck it in like this, and then I'll use my I'll head over to my sewing machine and just sew it. I'm going to sew this place closed. So here I have it ironed, and this is what it looks like. So I'll move to the next piece which I'll be working on. I'm just going to set this aside. Move to this next piece, which is 7 inches by 16.5 inches, and I'll just fold it into two like this. It's going to be right side facing right side, of course. So I'll just flip it over like this, and I'll sew by the sides by about 1/4 inch. This as well. So now I'm going to be flipping it to the right side. I flipped it to the right side. So I'm going to head over to my ironing table and give it a good press. While pressing it, you want to make sure that this joining line, this line where you joined it, is somewhat in the middle. Okay, so make sure it's in the middle while you iron. I've ironed it. You can see it's looking nice and flat, and you can also see that the joining, the part where I joined the seams, is at the middle. So I'll move to the next piece. This is the next piece, the piece that is 2.5 by 5 inches, and I'm also going to be sewing this. So I'll just fold it like this. Can you see? I'll fold it this way, and then I'm going to sew straight from the beginning here to the end. I'll be sewing by about 1/4 inch. I've equally sewn this as well, and I'm going to flip it to the right side. I'm also going to iron this as well. While I iron, I also make sure that the joining line or the seam line is in the middle. I've ironed this as well and it's flat. Now I'm going to set this aside, and now I'm going to pick up this piece and I will look for the midpoint of it. So I've marked the midpoint here on the back. Note that the back is the point that has this joining line where I joined it earlier. So I'm going to be folding this piece towards that midpoint. So this is what I mean. I'm going to allow it to slightly overlap by like 1/2 inch, and I'm going to sew it down just to hold it in place. So now I've sewn it down and you can see what it looks like now. So I'll pick up this piece which is triangular, and I would also find the midpoint of it here. I'm going to be attaching this piece. Can you see this piece? I'm going to be attaching it to this triangular piece. So on this piece, I'll just come up by 1 inch. So from this base here, I'll come up by about 1 inch. I'll mark 1 inch here. Can you see it? So now I'm going to place this one here. I'll just place it like this. The midpoint of this one matching up with the midpoint of this other one. So I'll just stitch it up on my sewing machine so that the two of them would stay together. I hope you understand. So I want these two pieces to be together. So I'll place this one on top of this one on that 1 inch mark, and then I'll stitch them up together. So now I've sewn them together. You can see how it looks at the back and also in front. So the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to be pleating this piece. So I'll start like this. Just make pleats that are about half of an inch thick. I hope you understand what I mean. So I'm just use my hand like this to pleat it. You take a needle and a thread. I've threaded my needle here. I have it here. So I'm just going to sew it just to hold it in place. You're not really sewing. You just are putting your needle. Can you see I've put in my needle and the thread is out on the other side. So what you do next is you just roll your thread around it like this. So this is what it looks like after I secure it with the thread. This is what the back looks like. So I'm just going to use this piece now to cover up this thread which I used to secure this bow together. I'll place it like this and just wrap it up this way. Can you see? Next, I'll use my needle and thread once again to secure it firmly. This is what it looks like after I'm done stitching it up. You can see how the back looks like, and you can see how beautiful it looks. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to be attaching it to our skirt. I've attached one of my bows to my skirt, and you can see here. So I'm going to be attaching the second one so you can see how I did it. This is my needle and I've threaded it. So I'm going to first of all hold it in place together with the pockets. Can you see? I'll just turn it up like this so you can see. So while stitching, you want to make sure that your stitches as much as possible do not show outside. Yeah, I've attached my two bows to my skirt and you can see how nice it looks. You can tell me in the comment section if you're able to make yours and how easy it was. Thank you guys for watching.